at the archaeological evidence. Jericho, one of the oldest cities in the world, is 8,000 years old, with no evidence of a flood. The Egyptian record, the dynasties go back 5,100 years old, with no mention of a worldwide flood. The LXX, that's the Septuagint, adds about 1,000 years, so it would place the flood past these Egyptian dynasties. So those say, we have this evidence here. We can't deny the evidence. There must be gaps in the genealogies. Luke 18:38 says, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus is called the son of David. We know that there are 1,000 years between Jesus and David. Well, if we look at the Hebrew, son can mean descendant of. Jesus is the descendant of David. It's not a direct father-son relationship. There are gaps. Luke 3:36. Canaan is added into the genealogies. So there are gaps in the genealogies. But there's others that came along and say, no, there are no gaps. And one of them is Ken Ham and Answers in Genesis. How many have heard of Ken Ham? Okay, how many have heard of Ken Ham? He used to be a part of ICI and Henry Morrison's group. But he said, we must reject this science and stand wholly on the Word of God. No matter what science says, we need to stick to the Bible. There are no gaps. Henry Morrison on the other side, we need to harmonize the Bible with science. We shouldn't reject it. We need to harmonize it. Now, there's a very interesting web page on Ken Ham's website. I encourage you to write it down and visit this website. Because this is a number of arguments he says creationists should not use. I just want to quickly mention them. Darwin's deathbed conversion is false. That story is not true. Moon dust shows the universe is young. That's also false. The Earth's axis was vertically for the flood. That is also false. Flash flows and mammoths. That is also false. The Fleecier shore netted in 1977. That's also false. And many of you have probably seen pictures of this. They did testing on it. It was a basking shark. The second law of thermodynamics began at the fall. This is false. In order for the sun to burn on day 4, you have to have the second law of thermodynamics. Biopsy tracks prove animal and dinosaur coexistence is false. You may have heard of this. There are dinosaur and human footprints in the Biloxi River in Texas. They went back and dammed up the river and looked at it closely. They were only eroded dinosaur tracks. Ken Ham also says mutations are never beneficial. This is false. There are some beneficial mutations. No new species has ever been produced. This is also false. There have been some. Now, this is not me saying. This is Ken Ham on his website. And there are many other things, and I encourage you to go there and read many more arguments there. Now, one particular one, at the end here, says, many of Karl Ball's, how many have heard of Karl Ball? A few of you. Creation evidence, sorry to say, Answers in Genesis thinks that it is well-meaning, but that he unfortunately uses a lot of material that is not sound scientifically. So we advise against relying on any evidence he provides unless supported by the creationist organizations with reputations for biblical and scientific vigor. Unfortunately, there are a lot of talented creationist speakers with reasonable orthodox understanding of Genesis. Example, Kent Hovind, who continue to promote some of the wide and broad evidence despite being approached on the matter. I'm just wondering what Answers in Genesis did confront Dr. Hovind here, saying a lot of the evidence you're using is false. You shouldn't be using it. And maybe he can speak to that. He goes on, doubtful arguments that we inadvisable to use. The water came been found in coal has also been very doubtful. The Gospels in the Stars, that is also doubtful. These are things, there's other ones on Ken Ham's website about this. I'm just wondering, maybe there should be a Ken Hovind debate about these things.
It don't feel warm here. When it gets too warm.
I want to move on to the older creationists. How many have heard of Hugh Ross? A couple of you. He founded Reasons to Believe. He would be a progressive creationist. He believes that the days in Genesis are more than 24 hours. And if we look at the Hebrew, sure enough, it's used as 12 hours, 24 hours, and 144 hours. And in other parts of Scripture, a period of time. There's another big movement called the ID movement, which stands for the Intelligent Design Movement, also called New Creationism. And what they want to do is get everyone together, a big ecumenical movement against evolution. Let's all get together under one umbrella and let's fight evolution. Let's get all the younger creations together. Let's get all the older creations together and let's fight evolution. And then there's theistic evolution. And one of the key proponents is Kenneth Miller. He's a great debater, and if you ever get a chance to see him, he wrote Finding Darwin's God. Now, take a look at the Intelligent Design Movement. Philip Johnson wrote Darwin on Trial. Michael Behe wrote Darwin's Black Box. And last time I checked, you can get this on Dr. Hovind's website. Jonathan Wells, Icons of Evolution. You can also get this on his website. But you must realize about the intelligence design movement, and Michael Behe puts it best here in the book. This is the paperback book, page 5. For the record, I have no reason to doubt that the universe is the billions of years old, that this is to say that it is. Further, I find the idea of common descent that all organisms share a common ancestor fairly convincing, and have no particular reason to doubt it. Most of the ones in the intelligent design movement believe the earth is billions of years old. The universe, billions of years old. Well, what is Behe arguing in this book here? He's arguing for abiogenesis, which is how life started. Life is so complex that God must have started it. Life just couldn't have started or evolved by itself. That's what he's arguing. He's not really arguing against evolution, which is just changes in the allele frequencies in population. So we must keep that in mind in his book. Jonathan Wells wrote Icons of Evolution. But I found something shocking here. What I found shocking was that Jonathan Wells is a follower of Reverend Moon. Reverend Moon sent him to school, paid for his way to learn biology so that he could refute evolution. Some of the writings of Reverend Moon are posted on the Unification Church's website, and you can go, I listed there, you can go there and read for yourself what Jonathan Wells has written. Don't leave that, go to the Discovery Institute, call them up to make sure about this. And I did. He's a follower of Reverend Moon, yet Dr. Hovind is selling his book